we made it. Final video on our baby steps to homeschool planning. The final two steps, number 8 and 9, are organization and meal planning. There are so many videos out there that walk you through different organization methods. Feel free to check out other homeschool moms and other homeschool videos that give you some of those raw examples. However, in this video, I just want to share a few tips and tricks that I use to help keep myself organized. One way we keep ourselves organized is I have created little cards. These little cards tell us what our routine will be throughout our days. So as you know, we instruct on Wednesdays, Fridays after work, Saturday, and Sunday. So on Wednesdays, this is what our routine looks like. We don't really do a schedule. We normally stick to a routine. And like I said, I have a video on that. I'll link it below. So feel free to look at the reason why we chose to do a routine versus a schedule and what the difference is between those two things. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this is what our routine looks like. So all throughout the planning process, we talked about what we're going to teach, why we're going to teach it, when we're going to teach it, how long it takes to teach it, what is the process for planning out a lesson, how do I know what curriculum to choose. Once you have all that information, you can create your schedule. You can create your routine, what your day is going to look like. That's going to help you stay focused and stay on track to ensure you hit certain milestones throughout your homeschooling journey. As I also mentioned before, we have something called independent days on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, which are the days that my son completes all his assignments that he's provided during his instruction days. He completes any corrections, or he does some other independent project-led type work, okay? So this is what his schedule is on those days. And again, I just created these just to make sure that we're all on track and we all kind of understand what our days look like. In addition to that, we have little drawers here that my son uses. This drawer here keeps all his interactive notebooks. So we have an interactive notebook for language arts. We have one for our foreign language. We have one for the Bible. We have one for electives 3, which is enrichment and life skills. He has one for science, math, electives 1, writing, spelling, and vocabulary, okay? So we have an interactive notebook for basically all our subjects, and this is where he just keeps that information so that if he needs to use it as a reference for whatever reason, he has that available for him. Then we have an area for Bible. Everything that we utilize within our religious studies, or we like to call it our Bible studies, he keeps in here. So in here, he keeps any handouts or printouts that we've given him. He has a copy of one Bible, and he also has a second Bible that he's a copy of. And then he has his daily devotional. And this is a wisdom journal where I will write notes to him and he will respond to me if he so chooses, or if he wants to write me notes or write out his thoughts because he doesn't want to express them verbally, he can go ahead and do that here and we express that to one another. So this is our Bible study, and we also keep character building or good citizenship information within here. We also have a work in progress. This is where he keeps all the work he's currently working on. I have him keep a red folder, and within this red folder, this tells him these are all the hot items. These are all the assignments that you need to look at, or they may be corrections that are required. On every assignment, he's required to write the due date. Okay, so the due date is on all the assignments. Also within his work in progress, he has his binder. And his binder basically has his agenda. Okay? And his agenda basically outlines all the work that he has been assigned and the due dates. And as he completes them, he checks them off. The last page of this binder has his project tracker. So all the projects that he's been assigned, may it be self-led, he decided to assign it to himself, or if I decided to assign it to him, he keeps track of it and then he checks it off when he's done. Before he turns in any type of project, he has to read this information below and make sure his projects meet these minimum requirements, okay? My son was enrolled in public school before, so he is so used to moving from class to class at a particular time. So although a routine works for me and I want to get him into the mindset of doing a routine, I did give him a schedule in order to help transition him into the new flow that I want him to kind of get acclimated to. So what I did is I just created a normal schedule for him that says, during these times, on these days, this is what your day is supposed to look like. These are, or this is the order in which we will do our teaching of topics or subjects or things of that nature. So that kind of helps him keep on track. Do we stick to that? No, but it makes him feel better. So we do it this way. Okay. Also, within his binder, we keep important information like emergency information. He has information about the his off days, when are the vacation days, how many days does he have left before the next break. I'm telling you, once or twice a day, he is going to his calendar and he is looking at when the next day off is. So this is his binder. And he printed this out. This is what he wanted to have. So these are the ways that I keep my son engaged and organized. So let's look at some other things. This is his area where he puts his completed work. As he completes his assignments, he is supposed to put them here. Okay. And once I grade them and correct them, I will place them on his desk. And if there's anything wrong, may it be one item or multiple items, he will either correct it right then and there, put it back in this bin for me to recheck, or he will put it in his red folder and he'll assign himself a due date just to remind him that it needs to be done as quickly as possible. Another way I keep myself organized is I put everything within my binder. This is my binder, my homeschool binder. Everything we talked about within all the baby steps, the final or end products are kept here, and I have tabs to separate everything. So from our homeschool foundation to our schedule, to our goals and our objectives and everything else that keeps me organized, keeps me sane throughout the journey, I keep here in my handy dandy binder. You will see in other videos that we use these bins to also help us remain organized. So remember, I told you that we kept those cards that kind of tell us what our routine or our flow, what it looks like on our instruction days and what it looks like on our independent days. Well, we keep the curriculum or resources that we're going to use on those days within these bins. So as you can see, there's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday bin. There's an independent work bin, and that middle bin is our Wednesday bin, and it's just turned backwards. So as we go through our weeks and our months, the information or the resources within those bins will change depending on what we're learning. So that keeps my son very organized, and it also keeps me organized. We also have a bin for our morning time, the things that we loop through during our morning time routine. So these bins here, This is how we keep ourselves organized. So remember those cards that I showed you earlier that said what our day or what our routine looks like on teaching days or on our independent days? This is where we keep the information. So as you can see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, our independent bin. I have one for morning time, that middle bin, which doesn't have a label on it. It does, but the label is on the other side. That's the Wednesday bin. The resources and information within those bins will circulate, they will change. It just depends on what we're doing that week or that month. Okay? Here's my teaching day bin. Everything or all the curriculum that I use to teach will be in this bin here, okay? And depending on what day I'm teaching, I'll move it from this bin to my cart. So if it's a Wednesday, I will pull out for example, I'll pull out my language arts information that I want to use. I'll pull out any electives 3 information, any math. I'll pull out those resources, pop it into my cart, along with my teaching folder, and that just gets me ready for that day so I don't have to search and find. I keep it in the bin, keep it in the corner, pop it on the cart to prepare me to teach. Within my teaching folder, I keep all the printouts, I keep all the resources that we're going to use for that particular day, and sometimes for the entire week, okay? So as you can see, here are my notes that I want to discuss as a review for language arts. Here is some printouts that I have for fractions. We're actually going to do a lap book for fractions, so I just went ahead and printed out everything to prepare. I keep all my Bible information here. So we're learning the books of the Bible. So I just printed out the ones that we've learned, and we play different card games, matching games with them. Also for Bible, we keep our scriptures that we're memorizing. I also keep my timeline of events based on where we are in the Bible. Right now, we're on Rebecca and Abraham. So all these cards here basically give a timeline from creation to that point. And then as we learn more information, we are going in order of the Bible for all the events. So as we learn more information, I'll cut up those cards and add it to this stack. And then as a game, he has to put everything in order based on when the event took place in the Bible, okay? If I had any math worksheets that I printed out, I would put that in here. If he had any assignments, I would put it in here. I just keep everything that I'm using for the day that I'm teaching or during the week within here so that I am all organized and ready. With this curriculum binder, I divide it by subject. So every one of these colored tabs separates each subject. And what's in here are basically the table of contents. So every single curriculum that I have, every single resource that I have, I print out the table of contents, okay? And I put them within this binder here. The reason why I like to do this, guys, is because when it comes to lesson planning, I don't want to have to go through every single piece of curriculum that I have to determine what book or chapter or resource I'm going to use. So in the beginning of the planning process, as you can see in the prior baby step, I did identify the curriculum. I put a sticky note of how many lessons I was going to teach, and I also put how long it was going to teach me, right? But as I go throughout the homeschool year, I may not want to pull all those books out again to figure out what I want to skip, or if I want to figure out if I want to pull in another supplementary resource or curriculum to help further explain whatever we're teaching. So instead of pulling all my curriculum out, I just pull this binder out. And then let's say I am, let's say we're focusing on grammar. right? So I would go to my language arts area and I would say, okay, right now for our main curriculum, we're using Shirley method, but he's really having a problem with prepositions. So what other resources do I have here that can further explain prepositions? Well, I have Fix It Grammar, and there's a whole section of prepositions. So I'll pull this curriculum out and decide if I want to use it as examples. Let's say for Michael Clay Thompson. Are there anything there about prepositions? Maybe under the parts of speech in this, on this page here, they may have something with prepositions. So I'll go ahead and pull that book out. Let's say, one second, baby. Let's say under language arts, first language lessons, well-trained mind. I want to see if they have anything with prepositions here. So then I would go through their table of contents and I would decide, is there anything here that talks about prepositions? If so, I would go ahead and pull that out, go to that specific area to make that determination. So I have found this to be so useful, guys, to print out the table of contents for every single one of my curriculums and resources and have them handy here just to avoid having to go and look at each book for whatever reason or time. Hopefully you can see this, guys. But I use Google Docs, okay? And on my Google Docs, I like to... Ooh, this is not really focused. Mommy. On my Google Docs, I like to keep all my files organized. So I keep all my subjects together. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. So I keep all my subjects, okay, and all subtopics. African studies, any anchor charts, Bible, loop 1, 2, and 3, language arts, foreign language, things that are specific by grade, math, science, and tot schooling. I keep all my subjects separate. And then I put any resources, anything I find on Pinterest, any YouTube videos, any online curriculums. I keep all those things organized within each folder. I have an area called Teacher Resources, and this is where I keep any of my binder covers, our calendars, field trip information, Homeschool 101, which is basically all my homeschool information. I keep all that there. How I track performance, any assessments or proficiency exams or state exams that I want him to take just to use as a refresher so that I can kind of understand whether or not he's on track. I keep all that here. But what I wanted to show you is our homeschool library. I actually take pictures of every single curriculum that I have. Every single book I take a picture of. And I do that because if I'm on the go or if I want to purchase a curriculum, I'm at a homeschool convention, I'm at Costco or at a bookstore, I don't want to purchase the same curriculum. Or if I'm online on Amazon shopping or on Rainbow Resources or christianbooks.com or whatever, before I go purchase any curriculum, I ask myself, do I have it? And I'm not carrying that curriculum with me everywhere I go, right? So I keep a picture on my Google Drive so that I can easily access it on my phone wherever I go. So for African history, here's a picture of all the books that I have. So on my phone, I would just open it up and it would show me everything that I have for African studies as an example. Let's go back. Let's go to grammar. For grammar, I would click on it and it would show me all the books that I have for grammar, okay? I don't organize it by grade. I just go through it. Although I should organize it by grade, but I don't feel like doing all of that right now. Or at that time, I didn't really feel like doing it, okay?
Puzzle.
Yes, puzzle. Want to play a puzzle? Let me show you one more example. I'll show you math. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. So for math, oops, I'm getting an error message. It looks like my internet has disconnected. So let me go fix that really quick. So then for math, it would show you all the curriculum I have here for math. And again, I just take pictures of them and just upload them to the correct folders. Although my internet seems like it's going pretty slow right now on my laptop, on my phone, I don't encounter this issue at all. And as I get new curriculum, I go ahead, take a picture of it immediately upon purchase, and go ahead and update it. Update my files, okay? So these are just a few ways that I organize my curriculum. But again, there are so many other ways that you can organize your curriculum, organize your lesson plans, organize your day. You can check out some other videos from my YouTube playlist or from some other YouTube bombs out there. And finally, guys, is meal planning. So I came up with this list with my son. These are the things that he likes to eat and some of the things that I like to eat. So for the breakfast column, here are normally what our options for breakfast are going to be. For snacks, here are our options. And for lunch or breakfast sides and lunch sides, here are all our options. So basically throughout the homeschool year, when I plan out what we're having for breakfast and snack and lunch, I normally look at this list. I grocery shop for those things using this list, and I'll plan out what we're going to eat using this list. So normally I always keep all these things within the home, and either I will literally plan it out by writing down on a weekly basis what we're going to have, like a menu. Let's say Tuesday, this is what he'll eat for breakfast, snack, and lunch. For Wednesday, this is what he'll eat for breakfast, snack, and lunch. And again, all that information is derived from our list here. Okay? And that just makes sure that I'm not stressed and he's not stressed and trying to figure out when is lunchtime? What are we going to eat? We have that planned out. And if I don't sit there and plan out by day what we're going to have, at least I know we have these things in the home for each of these categories. And I can just decide to pull whatever I want on any particular day if we don't feel like eating what we planned or if I didn't plan at all. Something else I keep as far as organizing myself is I also like to keep a running list of our supplies, okay? I keep a list of what my son needs, 5th grader, what my toddler needs, and a column for homeschool supplies or office supplies. So a column for basically me, general, my toddler, and my son. And I keep a running list of items that I need to replenish or items that I need to have. So in the beginning of the school year, I write a list down of everything I need. I look through my supply drawers. I look through our homeschool room closet, and I make a list of everything I will need in my homeschool for that year. And then as I make purchases, I check them off just to make sure I'm ready to go at the beginning of the school year. Okay. And then I keep a list of those same items as a clean sheet of paper. And then as I go throughout the homeschool year, if I need to replenish anything, I like put a tally mark or I circle it or I do something next to it as a reminder that I need to add it to my shopping list to replenish those items. I also do that. Something else I also do that I'm not going to show you because it has personal information on it. I keep a list of all the field trips or activities within our local area, within maybe like 20 to 30 miles. So within 20 to 30 miles from where we live, I keep a list.
A truck.
What truck, baby? Oh, I know what you want. Hold on, guys. This is what she was asking for.
Floor.
Yeah, here you go. These are just cards that get her familiar with different things. Okay, and we just say hot air balloon, bicycle, and things of that nature. Here you go. No. Go on the floor. Go on the floor. Here you go.
Okay.
Go on the floor. Okay, you gonna sit there?
Oh.
Okay. So, again, I keep a list. Bicycle.
Bicycle.
Good girl. Hot air balloon. Okay. Speedboat. Say speedboat. Okay. I'll come back to the video, guys. I need to do something with her. Which means she wants to do some learning right now. So let me go ahead and finish this up with her, and then I'll come right back to the video. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, again, I keep all our activities. I put the activity name. I put the description, what the child can do there. At the time of the of the creation of the document, I put what the price per person is, what taxes are, and what the total is. So that way, if I know we want to go to the zoo, I know for this particular zoo, here is the address of that zoo. Here is the phone number. This is how it relates to homeschool. I also put what is the cost per person, what's the tax, and what's the total amount. I also notate if there are parking fees or any additional fees that I want to be aware of. So when I'm planning for a field trip, I have all the financial data that I need in order to make it happen. And I also have the information needed to determine where it fits in within our homeschool, whether or not it's just going to be we're going to go and it may not fit in, or if I can tie it in to science, math, history, or whatever topics I want to.